Hi, it's John here from the Professional Nail School and Beauty Academy. Once you've done your course, you probably would like to go out and buy your equipment and products to get started. And the mistake people often make is that they go and buy cheap products and to actually practice with. And that is the wrong thing to do. You really need to buy good quality products and equipment to give yourself the best chance of actually getting good nails during your practice sessions. And today I'm going to go through basically what I think should be in a nail kit. Now obviously this is my opinion on the products and so on, so many people may think, oh well, maybe I should use that product instead of this product. But basically we've tried and tested all these products that we're going to use today, and we found that over the years they've been really good quality to use. So I'm going to try and do it in sections. So if you see a section and you just want to skip past that section, just fast forward the video and then you'll be able to get to the part that you are interested in. So let's get started. So the first area I'm going to look at is hygiene. Now obviously hygiene is very important when we're doing nails, and we've always, in this business, we've always made sure that everything that we use is hygienic and for the customer and for ourselves, of course, and for our equipment. So the first thing I want to talk about is a nail sanitizing spray. Now this is also a dehydrating spray, and if you come on the course you'll see what that means. But nail sanitizer basically is to sanitize your hands, client's hands, and your nail files, anything that you want to spray with it. And this is in fact a chemical called Isopropyl. Now you must get one that's at least 70% pure alcohol. The one we use, it's not actually what says on here, Star Nails, this one's 70%, but we buy it in bulk in 5 litre containers and then give it a nice colour, and then we fill up the bottles here and just keep filling them up again. But the one we use is 99.9% pure alcohol. Right, so we've got also need barbicide. Barbicide comes in a concentrate, and this is very important, and you need a barbicide jar like this, or a jar of some sort, and you put a couple of capfuls in here of the concentrate and fill it up to the line with water. So you've got here a disinfectant and you've got here a alcohol sanitizing spray. So those two things are very important. Well, you can't have any less than that, okay? You also need some paper products, and here we've got a paper roll which you can use to actually lay on your table, or these have all sorts of uses, so you will need some paper roll as well. And we've got some nail wipe things, so these nail wipe pads. So these are we use with to wipe the nails with at various times during doing our nails. And you can buy those in bulk like this, and you want the ones really that are obviously lint free, and also I like the ones that are kind of like double layered like this, and they're just a bit thicker and they hold a bit more liquid. So pop them in a little pot like that. You'd also need some cotton buds. These also come in useful, and of course they've got the paper stems now, and you will need these for all sorts of things again, so you need some cotton buds as well. Right, so what you will also need is some acetone, pure acetone, non-acetone, and I've also got some alcohol here, which is kind of like often called a prep and wipe or nail wipe liquid, but basically all it is isopropyl, so it's basically what's in there, except we've just made it a different colour so it just separates it out. So you've got your non-acetone, and your pure acetone. Of course, your non-acetone is for taking normal polish off natural nails or extensions, and your pure acetone is for taking polish off natural nails but not off extensions. And we also use this for soaking off extensions and gel polish off natural nails, or soaking off extensions when you want to remove them and change them over. You'll also need a soak off pot, and basically you'll need 2 of these, and get the ones with the false bottom so that you can put hot water in here, and then once you've prepped the nails ready for whatever you're going to do, soak off or remove gel polish, then you can put the hand in here. The hot water will heat up the acetone, which it's a good idea to have it in a bottle like this so that you can pour it into the various holes and then do your soak off. So you will need 2 of these. It's also very useful to get yourself one of these pots, and I don't know whether you can see this, but in the top here it's got various little holders, and in here I've got pure acetone. And what I will do is, with my brush, if it gets a bit of acrylic in there, I will just pop it in, clip it on, and then make sure that the bristles of the brush are suspended in the liquid. And this, when you're cleaning acrylic out of your brush, you never want your brush to be touching the bottom, because then it may kind of curl up the brush and cause a problem. So these are very useful as well, and you can buy these off the internet. Another useful product to get for cleaning your brushes is a brush cleaner, and this one is an American product, and it actually is some kind of it doesn't actually say what it is, but it's some kind of alcohol-y product, and it's almost a smell like pear drops, but I find this really good for cleaning your brushes after you've cleaned them in acetone. Just run them through this as well, and you'll find that when your brush then dries out, the bristles are really nicely conditioned. So this is a brush cleaner. So now I'm going to go on to some of the equipment, like the files and so on, that we need. So we've got some files here, and you can see that these 2 files, one's got a round top, one's just a flat square file, straight file. And you want to get a file, I like a file that's a combination file, and this one is one rough side and a smooth side as well. So this would be a 100/180 grit. The 180 grit's the smooth side, the 100 grit's the rough side. So the higher the number of the grit, the smoother the surface on the file. This one here is a 100/100, and you can get them in various combinations as well. So this one, it's just a matter of personal preference what file you like. I've got here a glass file, and I find a glass file very useful for getting any bits from out underneath the nail. And with this file you can file backwards and forwards. Now with your other files, of course, you must file in one direction only, which we will teach you on the course. But these are very good just for doing this. They won't split the nail. So a glass file is also useful. You'll need a white block, or they come in black as well, but this is a white one. And this is a 100 grit. You don't want one that's too smooth. You don't want to be polishing the surface of your acrylic, so when you put your top coat on, it just peels off. So you want some with a little bit of bite on it, and this is a 100 grit block. Now if you're working with an electric file, then obviously you'll need an electric file. This one is a rechargeable electric file, and it's a very good product. It's about £250, and you'll need a mandrel, which on the end of it it's got the sanding bands, and I would buy the fine grit sanding bands only. I only use fine grit, and I like these with this little bit of a chalky colour, so they don't look as kind of like DIY that the dark brown ones do. So I'd buy those. You'll need some carbide bits, and they come in all shapes and sizes, as do the ceramic bits. So again, I find it personal choice which you prefer, so you'll need those as well. You'll need a dusting brush, and we use this for dusting the nails, and this one is a plastic one, and I prefer plastic because it's very easy and quick to sanitize between clients. You run it under the hot tap with some soap on it, give it a good scrub, run it under the hot tap again to clear it out, then shake it, and then you can spray it with your sanitizing spray, and you'll have a brush that's ready to go, ready for your next client. These brushes here, I tend not to use these because obviously hairs can absorb bacteria. You could be spreading it down your clients. If you spray it, you're only going to cover the top. If you wash it, it's going to take 3-4 hours to dry between clients. But I do use these, and I use them for dusting the table wherever I need to do that. Now let's go on to some tools. Basically, you're going to need some cuticle nippers, and these are for cutting cuticles. You need a cuticle pusher. This is my cuticle pusher. As you can see, it's quite small on the end to compare to other cuticle pushers which are quite big and wide and tend to cover the whole nail. I prefer these small ones because I can target various areas of the cuticle area that I want to pay attention to. On the other end, we've got a flat end, and that is for scraping the nails when we're removing, say, softened gel polish off natural nails, or just generally scraping part of the nail that we want to get to. We've got a cuticle knife here. Cuticle knives are usually for manicuring, but you'd use them like this to go round the back and scrape skin off the nail plates, which of course is very important when we're doing nails. So those are the things we would keep in our barbicide there. We've got some one-cut clippers, and these are, I've got a blade here, which when you're cutting off the nails, you must hold them so the blade's facing you, and you need a good quality pair of these. Also useful is a pair of normal clippers like this, and you would probably use these when the client, maybe you're going to file the nails down for tips and you need to cut them down first just to save a little bit of filing time. And you want the ones with a round top here, beveled in edge, not straight ones, and you need a pair of those as well. Pair of scissors also comes in handy, and some people use these for when they're saying they're doing a coffin out of a tip. They will cut the sides off like that just to cut it, or you can use them when you're doing silk wrap nails where you want to cut the silk. And they have all sorts of uses, a pair of scissors, or even the forms. When you sometimes need to tailor forms. If you're not sure what forms are, I'll just get some out and I'll show you what I mean. So here are some nail forms, and these are for when you're doing sculpted tips, and sometimes you need to tailor this part of the form so it fits securely under the nail, and that's where your scissors would come in handy to adjust these forms. Orange sticks, as they're called, are very useful, and they've got sort of like a little end there which is sort of beveled off, and they've usually got a pointed end, and I use these for all sorts of reasons, for just setting gems onto nails, but definitely for cleaning out the side walls when you're doing acrylics or gels or anything like that. You can go under the nail with them. They're just useful for all sorts of reasons. So orange sticks are probably quite essential. They're quite expensive, orange sticks are they, but there you go. So that you need some of those as well. Right, so we need some primer, and this is an acid primer, and I like acid primers with acrylics. They just give a really strong bond. Some people use them for everything. Some people will use non-acid for gels, acid for acrylic, or you can use them for everything basically. But acid primer is definitely back in vogue, and I use acid primer. I've got some nail dehydrator in a little bottle like this, and basically it's just what I've got in here. I've just put it into there, that little bottle, and we use this for, especially when we're doing infills and we've prepared the back and we just want to go around the back with some dehydrating solution. That's very useful for that when you're doing infills. Cuticle oil, you'll need some cuticle oil when you've finished off your nails right at the end, and you want to put a nice finish around the back of the nail to rehydrate the nail, so the skin area where the alcohols have tended to dry it up. So that's important as well. Now I want to just come on to tips. Now there are so many variations on tips. These tips here are made by Edge, and these are called Active, and these tips have a well in them, and a well is where you put the glue into the well. So you've got these here, which are natural tips. Then we've got here some Glitterbels tips, and these come in all varying types. These are actually extra long stiletto. So these are in fact pre-shaped tips, and they've got a stiletto finish on them. Oh, just dropped it. Let's have a look, get another one out. Right, so we've got stiletto tips. So these are pre-shaped stiletto. I don't know whether you can see that, but let's try and put that against that. And you can see here that it is pre-shaped in a stiletto shape. And of course you can get a coffin from this just by slicing off the end, and then you'll have your coffin. So they do a medium length and a long length. I prefer the long length because I can always take them down a little bit. So those are clear tips, and people like clear tips because you can get that see-through look on the front of the nail. You've got white tips here, and white tips generally are for doing French, if that's the way you want to do it. And of course once they're on, they will actually put that French look on the front of your nail. So you've got French as well. Now these tips here are pre-shaped coffin, and they are very cheap off Amazon. You get 2 boxes of 500 for about £10. But what you need to be aware of is that you're going to use lots of 5s and 6s. So once your 5s and 6s have run out, all the rest, what you're going to do with them, you can't buy the individual sizes, and you need to keep that in mind. Now when you buy, say, the Edge tips or the Glitterbels tips, you can buy the individual packets for all the different sizes. So if you run out of 5s, you can just buy another packet of 5s, which I think is the sensible way to do it. To glue the tips on, you're going to need some glue, of course. Brush on. This one's a brush on glue, which means that it's actually in a container that's got a little brush attached, so that you will brush on the glue either onto the tip or onto the nail, depends how you're doing it, and then you'll stick the tip on. I prefer brush-on glues to squeezy glues because they're in like a little tube and you squeeze them. With a brush you can control where you're putting the glue a lot more easier, and also you'll find that with the squeezy glues they're very hard to squeeze and you may just press too heavy and you squeeze too much out. They also get clogged up as well and then you have to virtually throw them away. But these brush-on glues are the best, so get your brush-on glue. This is the NSI Polybond glue. Powders and liquids. Now, we tend to buy our liquids in these 5 litre containers for around about £85, and you must make sure that you buy a product that has no MMA in the liquid. So this is what we call an EMA liquid, and never use MMA, which is banned throughout America, so I believe. So you must never use MMA, which MMA is used in the manufacture of dental plastics. So you must always use EMA. We decant it into a bottle like this so that it's more easy to pour out of into your little pots. Powder, here I've got a powder called FX2000, which I really like. This is a crystal clear powder and I will use this for just doing nails that maybe I'm going to put a gel polish over the top. And this is a 680 gram pot and this was about £55. This is again an FX2000 product, and this is a Snow White, and this is really nice to use, and we would use this when we're perhaps doing the ombres, and you'll find that your pinks or wherever colour you're blending into it will go on really nice. This one was about £28. Glitterbels. Glitterbels is from salonsdirect.co.uk, and all the Glitterbels range is really nice products. They've got some base powders, or what they call core powders, and they've also got lots of glittery powders and special powders for doing nail art and so on. And Glitterbels is a product that I really like, but I will use it with these monomers, this monomer here. CJP is also another good range of powders, and they're not expensive either, but everything from CJP is good, as is Glitterbels. This is a powder called Chisel, and this actually is classed as a dipping powder, but you can use it with monomer, and it really goes on smooth, and they've got about 250 colours in the range, and this is about £12 for this. Glitterbels usually comes out around about the same price, and the CJP as well, so you've got those powders there. Now the right brush to use with your acrylics is really important. Okay, don't skim on a cheap brush, because these not only will last you years and years and years with the correct care, but they are absolutely vital to get good quality nails. So I particularly favour the brushes from CJP, because I found that the quality is consistent, the shape of them is consistent, and they are really nice to use. So I've got 4 brushes here from CJP. This one is called Love by CJP, fabulous name, and this one is a size 10. They don't actually put the sizes on the CJP site, but I'm just telling you now that that is about a size 10. That is about the smallest brush that you want to use. Don't use anything that's smaller than that. There are instances where you may need a smaller brush when you're designing and so on, but for general purpose don't use anything less than a size 10. Now also what's important is this piece at the end of the brush. You need a brush that's flattened. It's got a flat end here, not a round end. For the way that we do our acrylics, which is a very simple method of applying acrylic, which anybody can do and learn in about 10 minutes, is you need this kind of brush. Some people prefer rounded ones, but flat ones, for the way we do nails, is the best brush to buy. Now, the next brush I'm looking at here is in fact the Liz Guild brush. Now this brush is really nice. Liz Guild is a very famous nail technician, and she's put her name to this brush. But this brush is a beautiful brush to use, and it's got quite long hairs, as you can see, and it's just so nice to use. It's what we call an oval. It's it doesn't go to a point, it goes to this flat kind of ovally look at the end. And again, it's got the flattened end here. And this is, I would say, it's about a 12. That's a 12. You've got 10, 12. The next one from CJP is this one. It's called the Big Boy. And again, it's a really nice brush to use. And this one, I would say, is about a 14. Hard to say, but that's a 10, that's a 14. Then we've got a brush which I recently bought, which is called the Queenie. And this one is more, it will pick up a lot more powder when you're using it. And again, it's the oval brush with the flattened end, but it's a lot bigger than the Big Boy. So it's not a lot bigger, but it's a lot bigger than the size 10. And this one, I would say, is a 15 or a 16, but really nice brush to use once you get used to using a bigger brush. Usually you'll find the bigger the brush, the easier it goes on. I wouldn't go any higher than this brush though, because you want a brush that you can use for lots of things, and you'll find, I would say the best brush to buy is the Liz Guild brush. It's just about the right size to do all sorts of things, like marbling and a bit of design work, and just for a smooth application of when you're just doing general nails. So Liz Guild brush, beautiful brush to use. So you've got to make up your own mind really, but you can pretty much say that when you buy a brush from CJP, the quality is going to be good and consistent. You've got to be so careful when you're buying brushes, because you can easily buy a brush and then you've wasted your money and it just doesn't do what you want it to do. But all these, I guarantee, they are perfect for doing acrylic nails. You will obviously need little pots like this to decant your monomers into. That's the acrylic liquid. Dap and dish, these are used for soaking tips off where you put one on not quite right, and also for putting your acrylic liquid into. Sieve, it's like a tea strainer. This is really useful for sieving out your powder, because sometimes when you pick up your powder, it can, maybe it drops a blob back into your powder, and then you need to sieve it every now and again onto a sheet of paper just to clear out any bits that may be in your powder. Then you can pick the paper up and pour it back into your pot. Pair of glasses. Now these are safety glasses, and you might think, well, why do I need these? Well, when you're actually using your electric file and you're, say, doing infills, you might find that little loose bits of acrylic may flick up into your eyes. So it's a good idea to wear a pair of safety glasses when you're using the electric file, particularly on infills when you're filing the acrylic. Now this particular nail table here has a built-in fan, and if I just switch it on, you'll hear it start, and it's got a suction here which will suck away the filings while you're doing your nails, and some fumes and so on, and it goes into a collector bag underneath the table. But if you haven't got one that's got a built-in fan, then you can buy a fan that fits on top of your table, and they're about 15 to 20 pounds off eBay, and you can use those as well. Some people like to work on the flat table, some people like to work on a towel, so you'll need various towels, and of course you must use a new one for every client, freshly laundered. When you've completed your nails, obviously you'll need to put a top coat on them or a gel polish, so you're going to need a lamp to do that. And this one actually is a rechargeable lamp. It's got the little timers on the top here and so on, and it's got various timing settings. As I said, this one's rechargeable, and you must get a lamp that's at least 48 watts or above. A lot of them go up to really high wattage now. I don't think that's absolutely necessary, but it must be at least 48 watts or above. And don't buy an expensive lamp. You don't need to pay £100 for a lamp, for example. You can buy one that's just as good for about £15. This one's a little bit more expensive because it is a rechargeable, but you can buy a plug-in lamp for about £15 off Amazon. So don't spend a load of money on a lamp because they're all the same. Just to finish off with now, you will need a top coat to put over your acrylics, and just make sure you buy a no wipe top coat. This is a hard gel, and it will give a very nice finish without that sticky residue layer that you have to wipe off with alcohol after they've come out of the lamp. So get a no wipe top coat, because I find that these really are really nice to use and will give that really high gloss on the nails. So I think that's about everything that's in a nail kit for acrylics. I may have missed one or two things out maybe, but if I have, think about it as I'm editing this film. I will add them on the bottom, and we'll see how we go. Right, well I hope you found that useful, what's required to do acrylic nails. Obviously all the products and equipment that we use in here is what I like to use, but you know, you might want to use something different. Just remember, don't buy cheap products to practice with. You know, get yourself good quality products, because that's what you're going to be using on your clients, and you'll find that you'll get nice nails, and you'll be able to repeat them from your practice tips on your clients. So buy good quality products. So it's John signing off now from the Professional Nail School and Beauty Academy. Just check out some of our other videos if you want to see other videos about us doing nails. And if you want to do a course, then just give us a bell. The number will be somewhere around on the actual video, or maybe in the notes below. And we do the one-day courses for acrylic nails, and including the electric file as well, if you want to add that on. And you can also add gel polish on as well. So you can do all 3 courses in one day. We will help you after the course if you need any assistance or help. So that's one thing we really like to do, is to support all our students after they've done the course. So I'll say goodbye for now, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye for now.